Just 1 second. And there we go. All right. Oops, I'm just missing one thing.
No
here.
bio.
No bio. What is the people need to know you?
A tiny bit, but not that whole stuff. No.
You know that reading the bio shouldn't be kind
Mhm.
of anything. I don't see that, but however you want, sister. Um, Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Bezerra Spiritual Healing Center. We are a non-denominational spiritist center, and here we respect all religions. We respect all spiritual traditions. Everybody's welcome to share your thoughts, your questions, your doubts. If you disagree with something, please share with us. We have the opportunity to discuss and to grow together. This is the focus of this group. Before I start with the announcements, we always begin our service with a prayer. So I would like to ask our brother Charles to come up and give an opening prayer. So please make sure to mute your microphone and stay in tune with your mentor.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Easter. And as the saying goes, the best prayer is the one that is done with your heart, with your feeling. So if you choose to close your eyes, that's fine. If you choose to maintain it open, that's also fine. Doesn't matter. I would like to, at this moment to thank our Creator for this opportunity that we have to experience another Easter where we celebrate the evidence that our brother Jesus demonstrated to us that life continues by raising himself from the grave. Dear Lord, we thank you for all the opportunities that you have granted us in this life. We thank you for everything, the good and the bad that you have received, because as we have learned, you know what's best for us, and we are grateful for everything. So, with this in mind, I'd like to welcome everyone to join our vibration so we can have a very interesting presentation and to have a happy Easter for everyone. And so be it. Thank you.
And so it is. Thank you, brother. Okay, so Bezerra Spiritual Healing Center is a member of the United States Spiritist Federation, and our spiritual beliefs are based around scientific, philosophical, and religious principles of Spiritism. So we are here always studying all the books from Allan Kardec and from the Spirits on High. And as Emmanuel, the spirit mentor of Chico Xavier, taught us, knowledge and love are the wings for our spiritual evolution. And this is the reason why the service is divided into two parts. The first, we always have someone speaking and sharing findings from remarkable and qualified mediums and spirits. During this moment, it's really important that you participate, since your mentor is already supporting you, for you to download the messages that are needed. We highly encourage you to have a piece of paper, something for you to write down your thoughts, because we know that this is the moment where you are in tune and your mentor is already in tune with you. And carrying and working on those reflections along the week is what will sustain the energy that you are already receiving here at the center. So we all have to do our part, and this is ours. The second part of the service is going to be a hands-on healing pass, where your mentor will be working with BSH mediums and the benefactors of the good, of course, for you to receive the healing energy that is needed for what you are looking for. We know that this is not only a journey of receiving passes, we know that it's a very much related to inner transformation. So here, you can see all the opportunities that we have for us to be together, to grow together. So on Sundays, of course, at this time, we have an educational presentation and we have healing passes. Every day, 6 p.m., we get together for us to pray. So if possible, please join us in this same link. It's 15-20 minutes. Everybody's welcome to join us. We know that it is in giving that we receive. So let us join forces and hearts for this work. We have fraternal counseling This one is by appointment only. So if you are in need of talking to someone, venting, sharing ideas, having someone just to be with you, we are here with you for whatever you need. Please don't ever feel alone. We want to be together, not even if it's for prayer. If you want to pray with someone, we are here for you. Usually we do that on Wednesdays from 4 to 7, but if you need any other time, please let us know. We'll be happy to assign someone to be talking to you. And because this is a inner transformation journey, we also have book studies group, and everybody's welcome to join anytime. It starts at 6:30 p.m. everything Pacific time. Usually it takes 1 hour of study. So on Sundays, 6:30 p.m., we are reading the book The Messengers from Chico Xavier, from André Luiz via Chico Xavier. It's an amazing study. And every chapter, most of these books, every chapter, it doesn't necessarily build on the other one. So you, even if you didn't start at the beginning, we are happy to have you at any time. On Tuesdays, starting next week, we will start the book The Consoler. It's an amazing one, also by Chico Xavier through the Spirit, Emmanuel. And this one we do in collaboration with the Divine Light Spiritist group. It's an amazing moment as well. Oops, I'm sorry. Can you all hear? Can you all listen to this? Did it stop?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. It was my mother-in-law calling me, and I don't know, it's somehow connected. Apologies. Okay, so on Wednesdays, we are reading the book Heaven and Hell, written by Allan Kardec. On Thursdays, we are reading the book Living Spring. It's an amazing book by Emmanuel through Chico Xavier. And on Mondays, we have the study of mediumship. And this one, the first part takes 1 hour, and this is educational. People can join if you want. But the second part is closed. This is only for the workers, for the mediums work, and we do healing services. So if you or anyone who you know is in need of any type of healing, please let us know. We'll add the name of this person, and during at least 4 weeks, we'll be praying and we'll be working for them. We always encourage the person to know that they are under treatment, so then they can stay in tune and they know that they will be supported. So during this time, read the gospel, meditate, do something that is calming, so then the person can stay in tune and receive the healing that is needed. Now, we are going to have someone that is very dear to all of us, Gina. Gina is speaking to us. If you ever had the opportunity to meet her in person, you will know what I'm talking about, a good hug. She is the best hugger ever. I never ever forget the first time that I met her and she hugged me. It was the best feeling that I've ever felt. And you know that, Gina. I'm not saying that because you're here, you know that. She is one of the founders and the president of Bezerra Spiritual Healing Center. And today she will share with us her learnings on chapter 9 of the Spirits book, Affection of Spirits of Certain Individuals. So please help me to give her a warm welcome. We love you so much, sister.
Thank you. Happy Easter, everybody. All righty, let's see. Okay, so this is another section of the Spirits book, chapter 9. So join me as we explore a few more questions that the Spirits inspired Allan Kardec to write for our learning. So this is about the affection of spirits. So keep in mind the affection of spirits. They're talking about good spirits and negative spirits that we can attract. Hopefully, the good. Because good spirits are affectionate towards anyone who's doing their best to follow the golden rules. You know, the rules of love and respect, loving God above all, loving oneself as they do, as God would like for us to love our neighbors. And you know, like the Ten Commandments. I'm really, really nervous today. I don't know. Anyway, here we go. So good spirits, they sympathize with moral individuals and who are dedicating their lives on improving themselves. So the question is, do spirits affectionately prefer certain persons? And again, good spirits sympathize with moral individuals, those who are dedicating themselves to improving their lives, their thoughts, their actions. And so when one is doing this, we know that their heart is also involved in changing. They're changing the way that they think about their neighbor. And we'd all like to believe we're good. And we do try to do our best, especially around our family and friends. So, but we have to extend that towards our neighbors, those who are not related to us. And sometimes it's harder to love someone that is not related to us. But in the eyes of our Heavenly Father, we are all related. There's no separation. So what matters is that we work to improve ourselves, watching our thoughts, watching our actions, and more importantly, reviewing ourselves each and every day on what we're doing and how we're doing it, our thinking, and what are we doing to help motivate ourselves to continue moving forward. So the next question we have is the affection of spirits for certain persons exclusively moral? Maybe, but morality is about what is right and what is wrong. Your thoughts and your behaviors express feelings and emotions that could be right or wrong. We all know right from wrong. So therein lies our choice. So, however, when a spirit attaches itself to a particular person, it's not always a positive affection. Remember, the way you're thinking, you are attracting that same vibration of a spirit that no longer has a body in the afterworld. So if you're thinking about hurting people or stealing, well, those are the spirits that you are attracting. You cannot expect someone who's been working on their evolution to lower themselves because you think you're a good person, but your actions say something different. So keep in mind, we all have to work always on doing the best we know and the best that we know how. And true affection has nothing to do with being human. It remembers a vibration, it's our thoughts and our actions. So we're working on our spiritual growth always. So the next question is, do spirits take an interest in our misfortunes and prosperity? Are those who wish us well also concerned about the afflictions we experience in life? Well, yes, spirits do take an interest in what's happening to us. Good spirits do all they can to help us. They're happy when we are successful. They're concerned about our afflictions. Good spirits will show us the way to Jesus if our heart and our mind is open. If we're truly on this path of improving, they'll do their best to help us. Now, remember, you have choices always, right or wrong. It's important for us to keep our faith and to remain calm and patient. And we have a right to question what we're going through. And this can help us towards our understanding and our growth. And, there's nothing new that we're going through or would possibly go through. So it's okay to ask questions. It's okay to even ask for prayer. It's okay to ask for help. Because remember, this is a journey and there are no free passes. So we have to work. All righty. So the good spirits inspire and they rally for us. So they always have an interest in everything we do for the betterment of our evolution. So it's not only the good that we are tested by. Sometimes we're tested with our health or our material properties. We might lose our job or even a loved one. And this hits hard when we lose our job or a loved one. Sometimes people find it very difficult to recover from losing a loved one. But remember too, not everything is a test. And in life, everything goes regardless to whether or not we want it to or not. Everything goes. Life just keeps moving forward. But the most important thing that we can do is educate ourselves about the afterlife, educate ourselves about who we are and why we're here. Those are important. A lot of importance is given to what we see and feel, our physical lives, because this is tangible to us. And then when we get so sick and can't pull ourselves together, then we call on God. No, it's better to do it while you have strength and you have the energy to be mobile. So this journey is very important for us to learn, and to evolve. It's important for us to learn how to forgive, how to love, and how to obtain this spiritual education. And I see these as tools for us. Okay, so God's love is a glorious harmony of the universe. God's love is perfect programmer of the infinite. This love is manifested in a life force that makes a seed germinate. It is this power that binds the molecules and perpetuates the species. God's love has devised the process of reincarnation. Love is the final truth. So here again, we are reminded of the law of attraction. Our trials can be difficult at times, but each one has a purpose. So let us not get tired of moving forward because there's an unknown reward coming. If we do this with grace and respect and resignation, we will receive an amazing blessing from our Lord. Love and forgiveness. Now, Jesus recommended that we love one another as he loved us. He also recommended that we forgive offenses 70 times 7. And this is important. And, I will tell you a little story about a friend of mine who I spoke with, I'd say a few months ago. And they brought up something that happened 25 years ago that offended them. It hurt them to their core, to the point where they still have not forgiven me. But in between that time, we were friends. They needed me. I was there for them, and they recognized that. But this little incident where I showed someone else more attention than I did them, they cannot forgive. That's interesting to me. This is a female. We're not lovers. We're just friends. Oh, well. But the point is being able to forgive. Don't harbor and hold this stuff. It's no good for you. No good for the body. I felt bad. I apologize, but that's all I can do. I can't go back and recreate the scenario. So their job is to forgive. You should never forget God's love, even when you're hurt. You feel forgotten, you feel ignored, or you are opposed to what's going on through your life. Remember to allow God's love to guide your actions. If you're humble, praying to God, it's important and earnest, and trust that God hears your prayer. Because our Heavenly Father will not forget any of us at any time. And if you're earnest, your prayer will be heard. You must trust. So, question 487. What kind of afflictions causes spirits to be concerned about us? Most physically caused or afflictions or morally caused ones. The spirits say our selfishness and hard-heartedness can cause moral or physical affliction. Our selfishness, our hard-heartedness can cause moral or physical affliction. So this means you can create a physical illness in your heart, your mind, and your soul. They're concerned when we are stubborn and resist. Our resistance and our hard-heartedness and selfishness can create our doors to close. But the spirits are there to help us through whatever it is that we're going through. They say they laugh at our imaginary illnesses born from pride and ambition. But they rejoice in those challenges that will shorten our trials and tribulations. They take no part in our mundane ideas, even those that don't even interest ourselves, or an idea that you may have stolen from someone else. They didn't take no interest in none of that. So joy is a song of the hours when God caresses your passage through the world. So be careful not to bring others down with your sadness, your anger, your disappointment, and negativity, because we must work towards greatness. Be careful even with your mate, your partners, or even your best friends, and trying to persuade them to feel the way you do about a person. You want to poison them to feel exactly the way you feel. Don't steal someone else's joy. Allow them to have their own path. Remember, if you are angry or hateful or sad, that's yours to work on. That's your test. That's your job. That you've got something to do. So here again we are reminded that we're all students here in training. We're still learning what to do and what not to do. This is our opportunity to practice forgiveness. Good spirits love to see us learning from our mistakes, and they love to see our progress. And it's important for us to take time to reflect, renewing our mistakes, to learn how to become a better person. You know, one of the amazing things to me is to learn humility. We don't like being embarrassed. We don't like being shamed. We don't like hurt and pain. But regardless to how it happens, learning humility, learning to be calm and quiet, learning to be graceful about what it is we're going through. There's a lesson there. Do our relatives and friends who have preceded us into the afterlife have more sympathy for us than spirits who are strangers? Well, of course. And as spirits, I mean, look at how we are now, how we feel towards our mother, our father, our friend, our children, our nieces, our cousins. We love them, you know. We care a lot about them. And there's some of them, there's not too much we wouldn't do to help them. So, of course, as spirits, they frequently protect us according to their abilities, which means they can only help you as far as they have educated themselves, because there is much more to learn about being a spirit. There's the rules and the regulations still apply. God's laws still apply. But I have to admit, there's a lot of people who don't want to hear about spirits. They think it's the devil talking, whatever. Anyway, and these spirits are also very sensitive to our affections for them. So we have to bear in mind what we say, even though they have no longer have a body, can offend them, because we are all one. We're all spirits, just in a body. Once we leave the body, we're just like them. So yeah, it can be offensive. Are they sensitive to our affections for them? Our spirits are the spirits of our family and friends sensitive to our affections towards them? They are. but they forget those who forget them. So if we forget that, I don't know, our brother or sister passed away, well, I guess they're moving on. They don't have this dense body to worry about all of the material things that we do. So they have less of that. But here's the thing, they can still continue educating and learning on the other side. Education never stops. Grant others the same kind of understanding you receive from those who walked ahead of you. God's love envelops all beings in all things. We are all descendants from the same divine Father, whose love is never separated from his creation. Our Lord Jesus is always with us, regardless. A beautiful fact of life is we are all children of God, no matter where we are on this planet. The only thing that separates us is our thoughts, whether we're in the body or we're not. And we may not be thinking about other lives that we have, other ancestries, or, we might have been American Indian. Maybe you were African. Just because we don't remember doesn't mean we're not connected. We're all in this together, brothers and sisters. And that, my dear, is the end of my presentation. Short and sweet. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sister. It's a very interesting topic because I was taking some notes and you started saying something that was very interesting. We all like to believe that we are good. And that leads us not to pay attention to our thoughts and our actions, as you were just saying. If you allow me, I would like to read a very brief, oh my gosh, let me see, a very brief message that we received from a mentor, that it was about sadness, overcome sadness, but we can change that for anything that is truly not. We can change that for frustration, for instance. So if you allow me, Sister, I'm gonna share really quickly, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure.
Very quickly. So this was the message, and I put it here to make things simple for us. When stricken with sadness, kindly accept this important emotion, but don't stay too long feeding its triggers. Challenges are needed for important reflections. When an emotion is denied or neglected, an important reflection is missed. Therefore, allow yourself to understand your feelings and emotions. Give yourself time to digest and understand it. Once understood, don't delay to overcome it. Allow the reflection to take place as a lesson and an action. There are steps that will inevitably happen, and if you are aligned with your mentor, it will be a quick, enlightening process. On the other hand, when thoughts are impregnated with self-pity, anger, and rebelliousness, this process will be longer and more painful. Don't forget that Jesus is within, and so does the strength. This strength can be accessed in many different ways, but when thoughts are stubborn on sadness, frustrations, whatever it is, use external powerful tools. Exchange energy with nature. indulges in good music, read warm messages, or the most powerful tool, work in favor of someone in need. Charity allows benevolent friends to vibrate higher and closer to you, strengthening you for your trials. More than be strong, brothers and sisters, be aware and ask for serenity so you can decide the path you want to take for your own evolution. There is no prayer without answer. There is no child of God without care. May your heart learn with sadness and allow it to be replaced with love and wisdom. Love, Leon.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Beautiful, right?
It is. It is.
And the reason why I wanted to share it is that this connects with everything that you said, right? Like we all have trials, we all have our learnings, but if we do not tune in with those who are trying to support us, if we just stay stubborn on thinking that we are good, but we are acting differently, or we are thinking differently, not watching our actions and thoughts, there's just so much that they can do for us. Right?
Yeah, it's not easy, but the thing is, when I think about when it's not easy, is those ahead of me did it, so it can be done.
Yeah.
You can be consistent. You can make it through. You can do it. And so, once you fall, you get back up, you fall, you get back up, you fall, you get back up. But at some point, you get tired of falling. I know I do. You just get tired of falling. You just want to stay strong and not start over, again. So, but anyway.
Beautiful, sister. Thank you.
Mm.
Does anyone have any comments or questions for Gina?
I had one. As I was thinking about your story, Regina, you shared, about the friend that was still kind of holding on to something that they didn't like. It's interesting because there's like a couple lessons, for that individual. Watch out to how long you want to carry something. You can carry it a lifetime if you want, or you can try through understanding to let it go, or whatever means it is. But the other one is at all times for us to be aware to the best of our abilities of ourselves, because we never understand what effect we have on others. And it's interesting thinking from like kind of both those views, as you can see how they interplay. One's given a lesson and the other one has an opportunity to learn as well, to reflect back on it and be like, it doesn't mean that we won't offend someone. We can be absolutely unaware because they could just be sensitive or going through whatever it is they're going through. But, at all times that dynamics kind of link together, because something we may do, someone may be offended with and hold on for so long and we're completely unaware of it. It's just pretty interesting to look that there's always opportunities wherever you look for growth, but it's as always, it's up to us to seek them out. So thank you for the presentation and happy Easter to everyone.
Thank you, Robbie. And you're right. The funny thing is the person was aware of their anger, and they also were aware that their anger has created a cancer in one of their kidneys. They said that, not me. And I was like, wow. And you still holding? What's your point? You know what I'm saying? It's like, wow. That was their words, not mine. I just keep moving.
But sister, I think this is an interesting thing for us to learn, because sometimes people want to forget, but they cannot. We are thinking about something that needs to be forgiven, but thinking about other vices You know, because sometimes we just get stuck in the vice of being sad, or we get stuck in the vice of the struggle because it's a known place, right? Like we know that. What do you think, and it's not only for you, but for all of us to discuss, what can we do if we see that we are stuck into something that is harming us? What do y'all think?
I think, oh, sorry. I was going to say, I think that you reach out to someone who you respect and love to receive some love from that person and to uplift you, and to that self-pity can only last so long without it being toxic. And so if your friends are abandoning you because you're toxic or you're too into self-pity, have the ability to be humble, as Regina was saying, and ask for help and see what's going on. And what I loved about the presentation was the idea that we all are children of God. We are all divine beings of the Most High, and we're all on a journey, and we will make mistakes, but the journey doesn't end. And that we are here to uplift the best we can and love one another. And sadness is a tough thing. It really is. And it's a personal, it is an affliction. It's a personal issue. How do you let things go? And unless you save your health, in order to save your health, people will stay in that until they can't take it anymore. So, and it's a personal issue. So that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you, Val.
Yeah, very good, Regina. It reminds me of that when we are going through the trials, when we are immersed in some kind of challenge, whatever that is, we go to that agony of having to endure that, and until we find that moment where things get easier. Imagine, for example, at the moment of birth, when the baby is coming out and they need to take their first breath, that it's a very difficult moment where that suffering stays for as long until the baby is ready to really relax and breathe and cry and all that. So we can relate that experience with everything that we go in life. That every trial that we're going through, and while in the middle of it, there's this moment of agony. There's this moment of pain. However, as we keep learning and understand, okay, there's always an outcome, there's always assistance, there's always a positive end result, then we're able to relax. So I think that's what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So I really appreciate the presentation. And yes, it's good to know that there's always the sun will come out the next morning, and that the sunshine during this worst storm that is.
Yeah. Yeah, it does end. The storm does end. Yeah. Thank you, Charles. That's true.
I too would like to say that I appreciate the presentation, not only by Regina, but it seems like every speaker has this way of making a connection and has this rhythm that resonates with me. So I appreciate that. The other thing is, I was struggling a little bit with the part that talked about the physical and moral afflictions. And then I realized, as Regina was speaking, that it was more about how we think more than anything. It doesn't matter if it's a physical affliction or a moral affliction. It's an affliction, right? But it's how we think that controls and develops who we are and where we're going, what's happening. I also appreciated the fact that remembering is important. The spirits who will reach out to you if you're reaching out to them. If you forget them, they'll forget you. That made a trigger in my mind about how many cultures attempt to remember, keep people in it, you know, and it's, oh, there's a connection. And so it's not just one group of people, it's almost every culture does something like that. You want to remember people and so make that connection. And then also, like Robbie, I really appreciated that individual story about a person. And then what I saw in that was the lesson through what the other person has experienced. What I mean by it is this. We can look at that and say, why is that person holding on to that? Well, the lesson to us is, don't hold on to that. And it kind of reminds me of the first time I did some water skiing. I was in Mexico, and I got on the water ski. This was shortly after the movie Jaws came out.
Oh my God.
I really can't even swim, but I'm out there on this thing, and the very first time I'm skiing for them like a champ. My thinking was, I don't want to fall because I don't want Jaws to get me. But I realized if I didn't let go at some point, I was never going to get out of the situation. Sorry.
And you know, Ken, is even more than just think, is about feeling.
Yes.
Is the feeling that really makes you move.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Hello. I was thinking about a story that I read by Thich Nhat Hanh, where he told a story about someone being angry with someone else, and he made the suggestion not to hold on to the anger longer than 48 hours. But even though the other person might not be aware of how they may have caused this anger in another person, it was a dynamic that was created by both people. And the solving of the issue required the participation of both in some way. And I don't know if that's true, but it makes a lot of sense to me. He suggested to go to your brother and say, I'm holding this anger. Can you please help me? To the one who has angered them. And I've done that in other ways, not when I was holding anger, but, you know, maybe I got embarrassed by something somebody said or, you know, other things like that. And it really has made a difference for me when I go to someone who I feel like I'm still holding something, to go to them and say, this is what I'm holding. Can you help me?
Mm.
And sometimes people are cooperative and sometimes they're like, hey, it's your problem. You figure it out. I don't want anything to do with that, you know? But I think for me, it's been more healthy to go to the other person and say, you know, even though you may not even be aware that that hurt me, I still need your help in coming to some kind of resolution with this. And so I like that idea a lot, that Thich Nhat Hanh. I can't remember what book it was. I think it may have been Pieces Every Step. I'm not sure.
To me, that hits me like there are many paths to go to the top of the mountain, but the goal is to the top of the mountain. So you can take one path, you can take another path. It should not matter because the experience is individual. It's your personal perspective on it.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's many tools in the toolbox, that's for sure. Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Gina, for nice presentation. And what I have learned is that the life that we have here, that will continue when we are in the other world. And what we do here, what our feeling, everything, we get it with us. And as you explained, that is the best that we try to improve our life here in this world. What we sow, what we put the seeds, we will have the fruit at that side. And when we do the apple, we can have apple. When we do anything, then we have the same. We cannot expect that we put apple in the seed in the ground and we will have some brown or something else. That is, we should be very careful with what we do here in this life. And when we are happy with our heart, not for a moment, the joy forever in us, that will we have in the other side. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Mosen. It's true. We have to be aware of where we're going. It's important. And
the
what
most important thing is to forgive.
it
Because
is.
when we don't forgive, we carry that all the time with us.
Mhm.
That when we revenge is one time and the hurt is with us the whole life. Thank you.
Yeah, forgiveness is huge. It's
Yeah.
huge. And, there's a lot I grew up with a lot of people blaming their parents for everything that had happened or did not happen with them. And my outlook is, well, okay, now you're grown, you passed 18, so it's your turn. Do what you need to do, to correct or make your life happy. Don't don't stay back there at 5 and 6, just keep moving. Forgive. Well, your parents didn't have any more information than what they have, and they couldn't give you more than what they gave you. So let's keep moving.
But when we think that what Jesus did with the people who wanted to kill him and prayed for them and said, God, please bless them because they don't know what they are doing.
Mhm.
We think so that the people who hurt us, really they don't know what they are doing to themselves because the result will stay all the time with them. And they hurt really themselves. That is that we should learn for today. Forgiveness is the key to be happy. Thank you.
Thank you, Mosen.
Yeah. He reminded me of a statement that Emmanuel did I don't remember which book, but he said that an offense is just an offense if we allow that to be.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I think what Mosen was saying, that the most important thing so you don't drag things on from life to life is to forgive and to let go. And as Jesus was dying on the cross, he said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they're doing. And it's like the story Molly that we spoke about, Regina, that the man was so troubled by his actions against some young boys that he gave up everything and realized that that was really not the way to live and to give back to the community. So forgiveness. And I just wanted to say one thing. Over the temples in Alexandria, where it stated, know thyself. And the second part of that is, and forgive.
Mhm.
And so they're basic, really difficult premises for us to deal with, but really necessary so we don't carry the burden, like the burden basket. We don't bring it, we don't drag it along with us. So, and I thought your presentation was really beautiful.
Hey,
Sure.
Valerie,
Gina.
one last thing, if you don't mind. Jesus, that was the last saying of Jesus before he passed to the other side. He said, forgive them for they don't know what they do. However,
Yes.
Jesus did not forgive them. He asked the Father to forgive them.
Okay.
Oh,
That's true. Father, forgive them.
Yeah.
Yes.
But Jesus has never been offended. he did not.
I agree. I
That's-
agree.
That's true.
Totally. But the point being that what Spiritism tells us all the time to know thyself, know what your motivations are, know where you're at, know what you're doing. And the idea is that once you figure that out, forgive yourself so you then can move on and do it and do it better, not do those things, and to forgive others so you're not in the past. So very good. Okay. Happy Easter, everybody.
Thank you.
Happy Easter.
Regina, thank you very much for the presentation. It's like you're just sitting, talking to a person, and the stories and the way you did it is beautiful. Thank you.
My thank
I
you.
agree. I agree. I agree.
Thank
We'll
you.
talk soon. Okay.
You know, I encouraged everybody to watch that movie, Molly.
Oh, it's incredible. It's
Yeah.
incredible.
About an African man who became a millionaire and gave it all up because of how troubled he was about afflicting these young boys and how
Right.
angry he got about these boys. And he got in his car and he drove for hours until he just couldn't stand driving. I guess he decided to pull over, and that's when he decided to talk to God. And the
That's right.
inspiration that he got from God was to change his life. You
Yes.
know, you got to watch it. It's amazing. Some of you guys, I think, may have, but it is an amazing, amazing movie in terms of growth and spiritual growth and his
Right.
faith and trust in God. It's
Right.
amazing.
And he's like a Duvaldo in many ways, in that he set up places for children and schools and gave up all his worldly goods. You should go watch it. Yes, to assist others, because he recognized himself in those young boys that he had offended. So amazing.
What's the
Molly,
name of the movie?
Mully, Molly.
Mully, Molly.
Mhm. I think it's on Netflix.
It may be. I saw him on Morgan Freeman's series on God that was on Nat Geographic. So I did not know about him till a couple of days ago, but it was brilliant. It was beautiful. So
Thank you, everyone.
thank you.
All right.
Oh,
Any more questions or comments for Gina?
but here I wanted to ask you that we all together pray for our brother Brian in this nice day.
For whom?
Brian, I think he said.
Oh, Brian. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Brian. Oh, okay.
Brother, thank you.
Okay.
All right, everyone. So let us take 2 minutes break, shake it up a little bit, bring your bottle of water, and we'll do our meditation for healing. Thank you so much, Gina. That was all.
Thank you.